Major changes are incoming for the Miami Heat as Heat players are crashing out themselves, saying this in the post-game press conferences after the absolute disaster class that the Heat fans had to witness, had to watch, had to put themselves through last night. And frankly, it gets even more sickening when you see what Jimmy Butler was able to do for the Warriors after the whole debauchery of what this season ended up becoming. So we're going to break down what's going on with the Miami Heat, how the players are directly calling for changes out here to this roster, and what we could expect going forward for this Miami Heat team going into this season. So much to discuss out here in this video. But folks, if you are a part of the over 67% of our viewers that haven't hit the subscribe button just yet, and you want to stay up to date with everything that's about to go on for this real inflection point in Miami Heat history, this is a turning point. This is one of the most important off seasons in Miami Heat history. If you don't want to miss a single thing that's going on with this Miami Heat team, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button because frankly, we are going to have a lot to discuss because after what we just witnessed in this year's playoffs, it is an absolute disaster class for the Miami Heat, right? The team just lost to the Cleveland Cavaliers, got swept, got bullied, got absolutely just, abused out there in this series. And in the final game, 138 to 83? I can't even see. The number's too small here now at this point to even look at because it was start to finish absolute dominance, absolute pitiful performance out there for this team. And it was so bad that, Eric Spoelstra and the players out there on the squad were very, very frustrated following this game. Essentially, Eric Spoelstra came out and said, damn, it was humbling. This series was humbling. These last two games were embarrassing. We were irrational as we usually are, thinking we have a chance to win this series. And they showed us why we were not ready for that. And frankly, every season in, season out, you're watching the Miami Heat, you're watching this team, the Heat culture, the never say die attitude coming out, and even during moments where things are messy, where things aren't great, you see the Heat just ending with somewhat of a positive. They come out, they play hard, they play intense, Heat culture prevails, and even if it doesn't lead to a championship, it leads to something you can look forward to, something you can move in the right direction next season. But then what happens is the team is clearly one or two pieces away. We get Pat Riley talked about, we love this core, we love this team, and, we put in the right direction, we get focused, we get locked in, and next year things will all come together. And then you go through a high and low, you don't acquire enough talent, then you're bad for a stretch of the season, then it's up, down, and at the end, and something miraculous coming together, and you repeat the whole same cycle again. And of course, those final runs were great, all those types of things are exciting, they're fun, they're great to look at, but the Heat play, not only fans, because I feel like fans have been sick of this now for multiple seasons at this point. You had to improve the roster, and then you get rid of Jimmy Butler. That's just a mess of a situation that you have to deal with there. That basically, and just speaking of Jimmy Butler, 27 points, absolutely heroic performance out there for the Golden State Warriors last night. And can I blame him? Can I blame him for talking and throwing shots at the Heat, saying, I got my passion back, I got my fire back? It was a mess. It was a catastrophe of what he left the Heat with, and Pat Riley roasting him at the end of last season, all that type of stuff. He's been playing well and making the Heat look stupid for not giving him that extra, couple years out there on his contract or whatever the heck it is, because at least we wouldn't have to suffer through whatever this was with Jimmy Butler out the roster. But I digress. That just is the extra knife in the wound out there for Heat fans in terms of everything that's going on. But as I discussed, the cycle of what we've seen Miami Heat basketball over the past couple seasons, Bam Adebayo is essentially coming out and saying he's not expecting that to be the case. He doesn't expect that to be happening once again for this Miami Heat team. He came out and directly said it out there in the post-game presser. He was sad, he was mad, he was crashing, basically came out and said that there is going to be a lot of changes this summer. Just from my point of view, understanding how the guy with the hair, with the silver hair works, of course, referring to Pat Riley. Now, we know Pat Riley is, his philosophy, he's hard-nosed, he's focused, and he is one of the best executives in NBA history. One of the best basketball minds and stuff, but the past couple seasons, he hasn't made those moves that worked out right. I mean, we could take a look at this game, in terms of who's out there on the roster, who's going on with what, I know Tyler Herro's phenomenal this season, but he really, really had a fall off out there in this postseason. His first guy as the guy out there for the Miami Heat, of course, Jimmy Butler. But Tyler Herro's great playoff performances. I think he's getting a little bit too much hate here now at this point, but still a player that just didn't really have enough around him out there at this point. Davion Mitchell, again, a nice dime in the rough, a great steal out there at the trade deadline, but You're relying on him as your backcourt and stuff. He's brought that in. I'm not going to throw flame on Davion Mitchell, but just the depth, just the roster, it's completely mid, man. It's completely mid. And the Heat had an opportunity during a loaded draft class, a loaded draft class this year to bottom out, to get a top 10 pick, to do whatever. And now, not only are you not getting your draft pick, not only is that gone, because that's already sent out here now at this point to the Oklahoma City Thunder, because the Heat made that final spot of the playoffs and ended up getting swept by the Cleveland Cavaliers. So that's there. And then you don't have a lot of those like future pieces. Like, you're letting that go there at this point. These are all your picks that are on the way out there in the future, right? You have that pick going out in Charlotte in a couple seasons. Like, there's a bunch of seconds and stuff. The team is constructed as like a win-now mold that can't even get close to winning a game against the Cleveland Cavaliers. And that is just brutal to see. And frankly, Bam Adebayo coming out and saying changes are coming, saying that overtly, directly. We know Bam Adebayo's cadence. We know all that stuff. This is people are calling for it. They're sick of it. They're sick of either just being at this mid-tier, mid-level stuff. Because, again, with Jimmy Butler, there is hope. There's that, chance things are going to work out. Things are going to come together. But right now, with this roster, with how things are looking, how things are shaping, it is just not where Heat fans want this organization to be in. And it's going to force the team to actually come out and have to make changes out there for this upcoming year. Like, if we take a look at it, right, in terms of the roster, in terms of everything that's going on, you have a lot of money committed to Bam Adebayo out there for the future, right? 34 million, 37, then it goes up to 50, 60, 50, 60 million out there till 2028, 2029. You're trying to maximize that Bam Adebayo sort of prime, that window. You have Tyler Hero on a very reasonable contract. So you have a couple of dudes that are very much effective, very much strong players. And then you have Wiggins, who, again, I don't want to disrespect Wiggins. He was a nice piece. He was a nice addition, but there's too many of these like nice guys, like nice guys finish whatever, but like there are too many guys that make this seem, oh, okay, they're all right, versus, hey, all those game-changing, those big-name players the Miami Heat are used to being linked to, that the Miami Heat have the market, they have the power, they have the ability to go out and get star players, and this team is not a star-studded roster. It's not a roster that's fully together in terms of something that can compete for championships, can compete out there in that mix. And frankly, Terry Rozier, of course, that was a disaster class in terms of, that move. Heck, you'd rather have Kyle Lowry out there playing than Terry Rozier for stretches. Duncan Robinson, his big contract's coming to an end there soon. He's had its ups and downs over his Miami career, but so many guys locked into relatively longer-term deals. There's still a lot of strong players, a lot of good guys out there on the roster, right? Like, Jovic at least had himself a game out there in this game. Like, the Heat still have the seeds, still have the semblance of what has made them so great, has made them so fun, but also heartbreaking of recent seasons. But I don't know, man. Changes are coming. Changes are coming for the Miami Heat this season. So make sure you guys keep it locked to Heat Digest if you don't want to miss a single thing that's going on with this team, because we are going to be linked to a ton of different squads, different trades out there the offseason. So let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. You guys are the best. I'm signing out. Cheers.